my God, that was so weird. Abby, could you see me before I started? That was so interesting. Could you see me? Like, you commented before I started. I am just like in awe of this. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hi, Diana. Um, hello. Okay, you couldn't. Okay. So I just I did a preview thing. I did? Oh goodness. Goodness, I wasn't doing anything bad. Oh my goodness. I didn't even know that was a thing. That is so funny. So I do a live simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook. So like if you're not a Facebook person, like this is my YouTube. I must have pushed something where they could see me before I started. Like, thank goodness I wasn't like, who knows? Who knows what I could have been doing? That could have been bad. We're home, and I'll tell you, we do not transition home well. I transition home well. My husband transitions home well. I would say Cooper, okay, I'm going to tell you all about our trip. I cannot wait to just share. Let me just say, so we have 4 kids, 13, he'll be 14 in a few days, 13, 11, 6, and 3. And this is the first time that we've really, truly done something like this with Cooper and Sawyer in 6 years, I guess. And 6 years ago, we couldn't because Cooper couldn't have done something like this. He just couldn't have. So I'm going to say this is the first time ever that we've done something with our 2 older kids. It was phenomenal. Like it, and let me say, 13 and 11, even 13 with autism and 11, is a much different trip than 6 and 3. It's just different. It's all different. So, my 3-year-old daughter is a very big whiner. She's just, I don't know if it's part of who she is or having a girl or she wanted the pink cup and I left her in a room alone and the dog touched her brownie and it doesn't matter. So she's just very, very loud. And our older 2 are not. So by 9 o'clock, 8:30, we were in our like beds in the hotel room, like watching TV, watching our phones, and it was quiet. There was like no one to put to bed. And so we had this big gap in between, right? Like Sawyer's 11 and very shortly going to be 12, and Harbor is a young 6. And we were laughing in a weird way. When Sawyer leaves for college, when he's 18, we're going to have a 12. Oh, hi, Ashley. We're going to have a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. We'll still be living the same life that we're living now. I mean, it's just weird to think about. Like, we'll be living the same life because we have this big gap. And we're starting to feel like the old parents. Like we are. When I drop off at daycare, I'm the old mom. I'm 41. There are moms that are 25, 26, and I'm like, you're so young, so fresh. It's just so different. I feel so old. Makes me laugh. So, anywho, I'm sure you follow me. I'm sure you do. Our oldest has a diagnosis of severe nonverbal autism. And that diagnosis, when I say that, pisses off a lot of people that tell me that he's not actually severe. going to argue about it. And they also don't like that I said he's nonverbal. Cooper is technically nonverbal. He has some words, but the way that I accurately, I think, explain nonverbal or non-speaking is if he got separated from us, or if someone asked him a question, a police officer, could he ever respond? And the answer is no. He could not. And we saw that actually this weekend, this last couple of days in a few different capacities. Like, he just can't communicate under pressure or in a situation. His dream has been to take the Amtrak. It has been his dream for as long as I can remember. And I'll tell you, I didn't know if it would ever be possible. And I read a comment today that someone said about me. They said, I love watching your page because you're not all doom and gloom about autism. And what I'll say about that is there was a time. There was a time when I was. Ask anyone. Hi, Brock. There was a time. And I was very sad, and I was very heartbroken, and I felt very alone. I was actually just texting with my fellow autism mom, Chris, who I just have so much love and respect for. And I was telling her how lonely I feel sometimes. So if you feel that way with this diagnosis, please know that you're not alone. I feel that way sometimes too. And so this has been a dream of Cooper's forever. So how does he ask? He shows us pictures of Amtrak. He shows us videos of Amtrak. He shows us Union Depot and Union Station and, all these things. So I booked this trip to take the Amtrak from St. Paul, Minnesota to Chicago. It's about a 5-hour, 45-minute drive by car. 8 hours plus by train, because there's 10 or so stops. I have been researching this for so long and still felt fully unprepared. I want to be clear. I am casting no shade at Amtrak, but I am telling you, it is very disorganized. Now, if you are just traveling along and don't have a child with a disability or something that's high stress, who cares? Awesome. But when we got there and there was hundreds of people in line and no one working, we were like, oh, shish kebab, because you just have to know. You have to know with Cooper. Like you're not going to walk into a situation that you don't know. So we booked this trip, and then we thought that taking the train back would be too much. So the way we planned it, and we have to have something we can do as a destination. So, oh, that's so weird. I just had a comment removed by a moderator. I don't have a moderator. I wonder what it said. Interesting. Must have just been Facebook. My oldest Fiona, we call her Fiona Crabapple when she was grumpy. Oh, that's so cute. We call her ours Whiny Winnie. She's a whiner. So we have to have a destination, and that is something to do when we get somewhere. That's one of our biggest challenges with traveling, is because there's just really nothing that Cooper wants to do. He's a pretty specific kind of guy. Like, he's not where like my 11-year-old would do anything. My 11-year-old would go to a hockey game, to a mall, to see Christmas lights, bowling, arcade. Like, it doesn't matter. There's not a lot of things that Cooper wants to do. He wants to take the Amtrak. So I researched the Shed Aquarium in Chicago. And so we, our plan was to take the Amtrak down on Sunday, 8 hours, spend the night, swim in the hotel. And then Monday morning, yesterday, we went to the Shed Aquarium. And I was hoping it wouldn't be that busy because it's the first day back after Thanksgiving break. It was pretty busy. And then rent a car, and then drive to the Wisconsin Dells, which is halfway home. And Cooper loves the Wisconsin Dells. For anyone that doesn't know, it's the water park capital of the world. So it's water parks and all that kind of attractions. And we have one place that we've always went to. We only go to the wilderness, and he knows it by now. They have three water parks within the hotel, and then drive back today. So we had it planned out, and we got to Union Depot our train left at 8:50. We got there at 8:15 on Sunday morning. And we had purchased a family sleeper car. And so I want to be clear for anyone that is interested in the Amtrak. Cooper could never travel coach. He could never travel coach. So if you have a child like Cooper, the seats were bigger than airplane seats, but it's constantly people getting on and off and walking through. And Jamie and I and Sawyer, we could travel in that setting. Cooper needs his own space to be successful. So I rented a family sleeper car, and I wanted to tell you the price because someone asked. It wasn't cheap. So I'm not going to have the exact price because I didn't look before I hopped on here. But the ticket from St. Paul to Chicago, so 8 hours, was like $100 per person. And then the sleeper car was like $300. So 3, 4, 5. So it was about $700 for the family of 4 to get to Chicago. Now, I'm guessing that's comparable to plane tickets right now. Because remember, it's only one way. I sort of hemmed and hawed at that price a little bit. And then I was like, we have never taken Cooper anywhere. Like we've never. So I was like, Kate, you're ridiculous. This is his dream. I don't even there was like 1 second where I was like, that's too much money. And then I'm like, no, this is his dream. This is his Christmas present and birthday present of the last 13 years. Like, this is it. So I cannot say enough good things about the sleeper car. So we're a family of 4 and it fit us comfortably. So I shared a bunch of videos. So scroll back if you want to look at it. But it's the width of the train car. So I'm going to do it this way, but just know that I'm so you walk in and you can touch both walls this way. So not the length, not the width, but the length you can. And it's a seat, like a bench seat that probably would fit 4, and then a seat over here that faces the other way. And then a table that folds down, and a table that folds down. And then there's beds that come down up above. So right away, the kids wanted beds. So we kind of held them off a little bit. We knew we had 8 hours. So we're like, let's hold them off. There was breakfast available. We did not want to push it. So when we got on, it was very disorganized getting on, very disorganized. Finally, a person came out. I had asked for accessibility help. And while I was asking, Cooper walked in. So, no security, to be clear. And got on the train, and we could have went and had breakfast, but we didn't. It's just, that would have been too hard for him. But so just, there was breakfast included. And then we started going, and we laid the beds down, and Cooper immediately got in this one. And Sawyer immediately got in this one, and they thought that it was so cool. We could never have done this trip without the sleeper car, and they just thought it was so stinking cool. The bathrooms were just down. So think of the train car. We were one end, and then there were little sleepettes. So little rooms that were very cute, fit 1 or 2 people. And then the end was bathroom, shower. And very comparable to an airport or airplane bathroom. Cooper could, 2 people couldn't fit in them. And if I wouldn't have had Jamie or Sawyer, it would have been a problem. So Cooper is not able to sit by himself while I go to the bathroom, and he couldn't come in there with me. So that was a big concern for me. But my husband was there, so it was fine. But I knew, I guess I guess what I heard was each train has one handicap accessible bathroom, but you have to be near it for it to make sense. So I'm sure you'd ask that when you booked. But bathrooms are fine. We watched our devices a lot. There's no internet, there's no Wi-Fi, so you're like, I think, at the mercies of like the sky. Like there's no Wi-Fi on the train, which was fine. We didn't have any problems with that. If you were going through, like, I'm sure, like the mountains or something, it'd be a problem. We were like just from Wisconsin to Illinois, so we were fine. Looking out the window was fun. Like Jamie and I really enjoyed that. The kids didn't care quite so much. Cooper only liked it when we were in the tunnels or when trains went by. He thought that was pretty cool. We stopped there was like 10 or so stops. At some of them, you can get out. People can smoke or walk around. We did not get out. I don't know if we would have got Cooper back on. One of our challenges, I like to always share our challenges, is the 8 hours would have went a lot faster if we could have went to the dining car for breakfast and lunch. We did not want to risk it with Cooper. So from what it seemed like, you have to wait for a table. If there's not a table, they send you back. They seat you with other people, which I'm telling you, I would have loved this if I didn't have someone to worry about, if I didn't have. So we didn't risk it. We just ordered in our room and had the food brought to our room, which was very cool. If you have a sleeper car, you get lunch, and the food was good. Jamie and I each had a burger and fries. Sawyer had mac and cheese. It comes with a drink and dessert. There was nothing Cooper would eat. So I will definitely, if we do it again, make something in a thermos and bring it. There's nothing he would eat on the menu. There was a little like cafe. And so I got my drink. I'm like, if I'm going on an 8-hour train ride, I'm having a drink. Got my drink, which was great. Sent Jamie for that. There's an observation car. We did take Cooper to that. He burnt himself on the heater. And apparently this is a thing. Like people knew, like this has happened to others too. It's so hot. So he burnt his finger right here. It didn't blister, but it was an owie. And that's something that really throws him off. Like he was very mad and he kept pointing at the heater and trying to cover it. Cooper went through a stage where he would touch stoves and fire. That's not what happened this time. This was last summer. And so we'd have to be so careful because he would touch a griddle. He would touch a stove. So, and it was like he couldn't help it. He would just do it. I don't think that's what happened here. I think it was just an accident. And he was pretty upset for quite some time about that burnt finger. I felt so bad for him. He, while I don't think anyone understands getting hurt, just to give you an idea of Cooper's innocence, like Sawyer's 11, my second son. He would understand that like filling a cavity is to fix a problem, or getting a shot, or doing a treatment of something to make stuff better. Like Cooper does not understand any of that or pain. He's just really innocent. And so he was really mad at that heater. Really mad. Shannon, I didn't know that. Yeah, Cooper touches. And whenever I'm cooking every day, he pulls up this video. It's like little Einsteins, and it's like, don't touch. That's hot. And then he walks up to the stove and he's like, and I'm like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Yeah. He, not to change the subject, but the first time he touched a stove, I grabbed his hand and like I put it immediately under water. This was a year or so ago. And it looked fine. Cover your ears if you're easily queasy. And then he left for like 10 minutes and he came back and he had chewed all the skin off his fingertips. Yeah, poor little guy. Like, he just couldn't understand, like, why that would have hurt him. Like, yeah. It got a little hard around hour 6 and 7, a little long. But if you could go have dinner in the dining car, it'd be a much, like, needed break. We just can't do that. So when we got to Chicago, we had to walk on the platform in between the trains, and it was like a 10-minute walk. It was hard for Cooper. People always ask me if he'll wear headphones or noise canceling headphones. He won't. We've tried for years. We've practiced. We've encouraged and modeled and begged and bribed, and he just won't. So, where I was really proud of him was he walked the whole way like this, and it was a good 10-minute walk outside, loud, smelly. He did really good. I thought at any moment he might sit down at me and not walk. I'm so proud of him for doing, such a good job with that. We got into Union Station in Chicago and we walked right through. I would have liked to look around, but it was just, he walked right through and we went right outside and we got a cab. It probably took like 5 minutes to get a cab. And he like sat right down on this like window well. People were smoking pot and it was very smoky and dark and loud. And he handled it so well. So then the cab comes, and my biggest fear the whole time was that he wouldn't get in the cab. I was like, he's not going to get in that cab. There's no way. It took some coaxing, but he got in. He got in, and it helped that me, Sawyer, and him were in the back seat together. Like, I think that coziness helped him. It helped him a lot that we were, in there together. And then he immediately pulled up the hotel on his phone, on his map, and like told like the driver like where to turn. It was kind of funny. Like, he's like, like you're not getting by him. And it was only like a 5-minute drive. It was great. Got to the hotel. He let us check in. I mean, these are all things that were really nearly impossible for a lot of years, like refusing to sit while, checking in, running, screaming. He sat, went up to the room, we got some food, and then we went to the pool. And we had, my friend Carrie calls them paper cut moments, just moments that are just sting a little bit. Pools have always been the place where Cooper could really feel comfortable and be himself, and people didn't mind if he was loud or stimming or splashing, or because all kids do that stuff in the pool. They're all, little shish kebabs. For whatever reason, there was a very nice family there that they were European from some country. I'm not sure where they were from. I didn't understand their language. And they were very nice. And Cooper splashed the adults. Like, he wanted to play with them. Like, I don't think he differentiates between kids and adults. So he splashed. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And they were very nice about it. And then the kids had these squirt guns, like the same ones that we have on the side of the pool. And he grabbed one, and they were very nice. They're like, oh, he can play with it. But we did not want him to play with it because he does not understand water gun etiquette. He just doesn't. So he would like squirt someone in the face, and we were just like, no, they're not his. We're going to get him back. And this is the part where if you don't have a child with autism, it might not make sense, but it's not as simple as like, can I have the water gun? It's like him like giggling and running and rolling and being silly and he thinks we're playing, and got it back and gave the guns back. And then it was just this paper cut moment. Like, he's going to be 14 now. He's 5'4", and he still has so many behaviors, and he's still, in many ways, is just much more childlike and acts like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old in a lot of ways. And it's endearing and it's lovely and it's challenging because of his size. And so when we got back to the room, I had a little sad moment, and I will share that with you. I just felt sad, like, the water's always been our place, and it didn't feel like we fit in. My friend Adrienne, I was talking to her, and she was like, "People are different in big cities." She was like, "If you were at, like, your local pool, everyone would know Cooper, and it wouldn't be a problem." And I was like, "I know," but it just it just stung a little bit. And then, mm, and then, got, oh, and here was another paper cut moment too. I'll share another one with you. So, we had 2 queen beds in the bedroom, and so Jamie slept with Cooper and I slept with Sawyer. And as we were falling asleep, Sawyer was, like, talking to me, like, at length, like, "I like this girl, and I wanna do this, and, hockey this," and all these, and, you know how you talk to your kids before they fall asleep? It's, like, the best conversations, like, you talk for, like, just about, like, just everything, right? Um, Cooper was in bed with Jamie, and, he kept, like, turning the light on the table and, like, giggling. And it, like, dawned on me that he wants to talk and he wants to engage, and I just don't think he knows how. And so there's a sentence that I use whenever I share about autism, and it was just a reminder for me that behavior is communication. Um, it's just so important to remember that. Like, he kept, like, turning the lights on and giggling. He wanted to play. Like, he wanted to be I think he wants to talk and share, and he just can't. And it tugged at my heart because I have memories of, like, laying in bed with my sister and, like, gossiping and, laying with Sawyer and just talking, and he wants to, and he just can't. So, just can I just say it kinda gives me goosebumps, like, when you're getting frustrated because behaviors are hard, like, what are they really trying to tell us? Like, it's so important that we just pause and, like, think about that. I'm no saint, so please know I'm not gonna preach to you that I'm a saint. I'm not. But my heart hurt for him a little bit because, like, I think he wanted to play too, He just didn't know how. So then, we have 2 older kids, 2 teens, so we slept until, like, 8 a.m., and Sawyer slept till 9, but Cooper, he gets up about 7:30, and then he'll just watch his iPad, and then Jamie and I got up around 8, and then, we had another sort of challenge that I was sharing with my subscribers. Autism makes the small things hard. So here's an example. Jamie had to leave the hotel to go to Enterprise to pick up the rental car and come back to pick us up. There's no parking in front of the hotel. Um, okay. So, there's no parking in front of the hotel. So, like, we had to, like, time this perfect. This is something that would be, like, it's like with Sawyer, like, "Sawyer, let's go sit in the lobby and wait for dad." We had to, like, time it perfectly because Cooper can't be in the lobby for too long. He did great. We timed everything perfect, but it's just interesting, like, he had his coat on and his shoes on, and he was right at the door, like, waiting to go. He doesn't understand. And it went good. We got down to the lobby. One other challenge that we have, um, with our family, and Cooper is we can't just pop into restaurants. Like, it's a big thing. So, if I could snap my fingers and fix one thing, it would be that we could go to restaurants and we always have to get food and bring it in. So, we didn't get breakfast. We just couldn't make it work. We just grabbed something. And, hey, Lindsay, I wish we could make some progress in that. And I think it's just going to just take, you know, the problem with restaurants is there's so many factors that we can't control. Wait time, loud people, smells, crowding. Like there's just so many things. It's just the one place we've like never really made any progress. And so dining is always hard. Like my husband said to me, he's like, the best part of traveling is eating out and we never get to do it. And we don't. But that's okay because we're trying. So got in the rental car, all went good, went to the Shed Aquarium. I have a story about the Shed Aquarium that I'm going to share on a different video because it's getting a little long. But the Shed Aquarium is amazing. It is worth seeing. It is a destination in itself. So many people. So many people and so many little people, like little kids. And we had 2 sort of challenging moments at the Shed Aquarium. And it's interesting because I shared this in a reel and I didn't even share what the challenging moments were. Like I haven't even shared them. No one knows. And people were like saying Cooper was in the wrong. Like it's so weird, like how people watch me and they like pick like what side they're going to be on already. Like they watch me just to like disagree with me. It's so weird. But I'll share that at a different time. But the Shed Aquarium is awesome. And the beluga whales are so cool. They're so cool. We're seeing, I'm kind of trying to hurry up here. Then we took the rental car and went to the Wisconsin Dells. On our way, we found that there's 3 water parks. The one that Cooper loves, the one that we went there for, the wave pool, was closed. What are the freaking odds? So we were nervous. I'm going to be honest. Like we were like, this is not going to be good. And it's a good reminder how resilient our kids are, but we also know how challenging autism can be. Let's say both things are true. So we were pretty nervous when we went. Like we were like, shoot, oh my gosh. Cooper did great. We had a couple things happen at the water park. So 2 of the water parks that we went to have like the giant play structures. I'm sure a lot of you have seen them. They're like, I would say for like kids, like focused for like 7 and under. They have like the dumping thing and then all the water slides and the squirt guns, all that stuff. The one that we went to yesterday, they wouldn't let Cooper go on the slides. And here's the deal. And I'm going to say both sides of these things. They said he was too big. Now, my heart breaks for these kids because while Cooper is going to be 14, he is very much drawn to little kid things. He probably always will be. All the adults that I've met with severe autism are drawn to younger age things. It just is what it is. But we have to follow the rules. We will always follow the rules. We're not going to ask for exceptions. We're going to follow the rules. So he was pretty sad. He didn't do anything wrong. He just was pretty sad, cried that he couldn't go on the slides. He adjusted well. We went on bigger slides. So he adjusted well. It was a picture of the future, though. Like, what is this going to be like when he's 20 and 30 and he can't do a lot of things? It just stinks. It just stinks. Oh, thank you. I don't even know what that is. Is it Zariah? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Thank you. These kids just age out. They just age out of the things that they love. And so someone said, like, why couldn't he just go down it? Well, in theory, yes, he could just go down it. It'd be no problem. But at some point, we don't want a 14-year-old going down with a 2-year-old. What if he, just the sheer size, like what if he, Cooper wouldn't do anything, but let's just say he got going too fast and bumped someone. That's the reason. The reasons make sense. The reasons are valid. We believe in the reasons, but I just feel sad. I feel sad for Cooper. He just doesn't understand. We did the lazy river. We did the hot tub. Cooper and Sawyer and Jamie took Cooper on this super scary water slide called the Hurricane. And when Cooper came out, his eyes were like saucers. He was like, ah! It scared him. I didn't go on it because I knew how scary it was. But Cooper likes water slides, but it scared him. It was fun to see the three of them go, though. I'm telling you, this trip was everything that we needed. To see Sawyer and Cooper have so much fun together, to see their dynamic. Sawyer is just such a good brother. We're so lucky to have this amazing kid. He's just amazing. I cannot say enough good things about Sawyer. He's just such a good kid. And he had so much fun with his brother, and it was awesome to see. What else do I want to share with you? We went to this thing last night called the Aqua Via Lumina at the Wilderness. It's this outdoor illuminary walk. I'm 41, probably the coolest thing I've ever done at 41. Now, maybe that means that my life isn't very exciting, but it was so cool. It's like you're like walking through this like fairy, it's dark and there's lights and like lights everywhere. And like, there was a storyline, but I'm going to tell you, we were moving Cooper along. Like Cooper needed 100% of Jamie and I. So we got to enjoy the lights, but not the story. He just was not going to let us pay attention to what was going on with the storyline. And that's our life. That's okay. It was not crowded. Now I want to tell you, I want to be clear. If it would have been crowded, Cooper would not have been so successful. So we were very lucky that we walked on every water slide. We got to walk through this light show. We were very lucky. We wouldn't do this trip in July. Like we wouldn't, he just wouldn't be successful. Went back. Cooper is an old man. So remember how I said he's very childlike in a lot of ways? He's an old man when it comes to bedtime and going out after dark. It gets dark at 4:35 right now. So it's a challenge, but we got him to go to the light show. He yelled at us and he loved it. I want to be clear. He loved it. And then we got him to go to the arcade. Sawyer wanted to go to the arcade. So I said to Cooper, I go, Sawyer's been doing everything for you this weekend. He really wants to go to the arcade. Can we please go? And he's like, yeah, which is amazing. So walked to the arcade. Oh, he got upset about it. This is just minor, but this candy store has all these pillars. Think of like the wall was pillars of candy. That makes sense. He's obsessed with Lucky Charm marshmallows. That's his favorite thing in the whole wide world. If you want Cooper to be your best friend, Lucky Charms marshmallows. And so we were going to grab him a handful of them, and we went in, and she's like, those are just for decoration. And I'm like, why? Why? And so this is where, just to explain the difference between neurotypical and our neurodiverse world. If that was Harbor or Sawyer, I'd be like, pick out something else. There's 10,000 pieces of candy in there. They would have picked out something else. Cooper doesn't eat candy, really. He's very singular in his tastes. And so there was nothing else he wanted. And he was just kind of bummed. I mean, he was just bummed. He handled everything I'm telling you so amazing. Like, we are doing things now that I never thought possible. And I know that they sound like really small things, but they're really big things to us. Like, they're really big things. Like, he went in a gas station on the way home. He went into a quick trip. He picked out something. He used the bathroom. I know all these things sound so small. We've worked on them for 13 years. It's taken us 13. I know this sounds so weird. It's taken us 13 years to do the things that we just did this weekend. So it's just such a big deal. It's just such a big deal. And we're exhausted. We're exhausted. 2 kids are easier than 4. 2 kids in autism are easier than Harbor and Winnie. So like we came back, we had to drop off the rental car, pick up the dog from the kennel, pick up Winnie from daycare, get Harbor off the bus. Sawyer went and skated at a friend's house. Jamie just took an Uber to get our car that we parked at the train station. Like, had dinner. We're tired. Oh my gosh, we're old and we're tired. But it was and I have lots more to share. Oh, thank you, Betty. I don't even know how this works. Betty S. Thank you. This is really cool. I'm new to this YouTube stuff. I don't know how to like it. Oh, thank you, Betty. So, the other thing that I want to say, and like I hope this comes out right, but like there's still so many challenges. Like there's still so many challenges, right? But he's come so far. And there's 2 ways that Jamie and I can look at it. And we talk about this at length. Like we can look at the challenges or we can look at the successes, and we just really focus on the successes. We do. We really do. So it was great. I'll tell you one other thing, just so you got to get an idea of Cooper's. I always say that we're connected by an invisible umbilical cord. Cooper will not separate from me. The cord reaches longer, but just for context, it was probably like a 8-minute walk to the water park. We got 4 minutes into the walk, maybe a little longer, and down the steps, down the hallway. And I realized I forgot the towel cards. We got to have towels. Barbara, I'm not sure why you just said that. You only respond to your close friends. I don't know why. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. So, I said to Jamie, I'm like, I'll go back and get the towel cards. Like, you guys keep walking. Like, you guys keep going. Like, go swim. Like, I'll be there in like a minute. And he stood with Jamie and Sawyer and waited for me in the hallway. He would not go forward. And so I'll tell you, like, I had this thought, like when I was walking back, and like I saw them standing there, and Sawyer was like counting for Cooper, like, Mom will be here in 30, like 1, 2, and I was like, to be honest, like I had this thought. I was like, what if I didn't come back? Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen when he needs to spend time apart from me? And it made me think that, like, I need to spend more time apart from him. And can any other moms relate to this? I don't feel that way with Sawyer and Harbor and Winnie. Like, they have other people and grandmas and it's like Cooper, like, I am like his lifeline. Like, does anyone else feel this way? Like, it just scares me a little bit sometimes, because I'm like he would only, like, he went on the water slide, that one with Jamie and Sawyer, but like he wouldn't do anything else without me. I don't know. Makes me nervous. It just makes me a little scared sometimes. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. What's going to happen if I don't come back around the corner? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I have so much more to share. I definitely do. I want to tell you about this. We had a few hard times at the, just kind of like go through the dynamic of what happened. And just talk it through. I'll do that maybe tomorrow. This is, everyone is back to their places tomorrow. So Cooper, also, we get home. Immediately, he wants to go bake cookies at Grandma and Grandpa. That's what he wants to do. He's been wanting to do this. So we're on to our next thing. My husband's like, can't the train just be enough? I'm like, I think the way his brain works is he has to always have something to look forward to. Adrienne, my friend, says that about her son Amos too. Like, they have to have something to look forward to. That's the way his brain works. Like now, like we've written it like 3 times. Like, baking cookies with Grandma, like over. And then they called Grandma upstairs on the phone when I came down to see if he could go there. So, okay. Wonderful chat, everyone. Amtrak's awesome. Wilderness is awesome in Wisconsin Dells. And Shed Aquarium, awesome. So good. So, okay. Good night. Good night. Good night.